Sabah al Khair. Good morning. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor and privilege to welcome you as King Hamad American Mission Hospital joins the Mayo Clinic Care Network. Today we celebrate the union of two exceptional healthcare institutions, American Mission Hospital and Mayo Clinic, coming together to make a meaningful difference in the lives of people in Bahrain and beyond. Unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. These very words, inscribed right outside this auditorium, remind us that true impact is born out of sacrifice and shared purpose. This partnership is grounded in a shared value system, a commitment to compassion, integrity, and serving humanity that will guide us toward greater synergy and enduring impact. Now, to officially open the ceremony, I invite Dan Walters, Chairman of the American Mission Hospital Board of Directors, to deliver the welcome address. Please join me in welcoming Dan Walters to the podium.
Good morning. It's my great honor today to welcome you to this auspicious event marking the partnership of the American Mission Hospital of Bahrain with Mayo Clinic of Rochester, Minnesota in the United States. Special greeting this morning to His Excellency Dr. Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Chairman of the Supreme Council of Health. Welcome. And to Brian Costello and your team from Mayo. Welcome to Bahrain. And to the dignitaries and distinguished guests that we have with us today. This is a very special event for us today, and it would not be the day that we hoped it would be if you weren't here. So we're glad that you could be with us. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to offer our profound gratitude to all those who have made this day possible, beginning with a special thanks for His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, and also the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. We're very grateful. From the earliest beginnings of AMH as a dispensary in 1893 and as a hospital in 1903, AMH has been rooted in the principles of healthcare service to Bahrain, with the principles of compassion, grace, and service, reflecting God's love and His care for all the people of Bahrain. Today marks a wonderful new chapter in the history of AMH, and we could not be prouder or more grateful for this important connection with Mayo. The signing today, this partnership agreement, is a culmination of more than a year of hard work across AMH and Mayo. And joining the Mayo Care Network will elevate healthcare in Bahrain as well as the wider Gulf region. In keeping with the tradition of our origins of AMH as a missionary hospital, we express our eternal gratitude to the Lord our God, most merciful and compassionate. We see His hand of provision on Bahrain and AMH, and we trust that that trajectory of blessing will continue on Mayo and AMH in the decades to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, for setting the stage with your insightful words. Next, I invite Dr. George Sherian, our corporate CEO of the American Mission Hospital, to share his vision for this collaboration and how it aligns with our commitment to excellence.
Your Excellency, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Supreme Council of Health, I look at this audience and the only visiting guests are the esteemed team from Mayo Clinic. Everybody else in this audience is friends to me. So, Excellencies, distinguished gatherings, and friends, welcome. About a year and a half ago, I stood at this very podium last year, January 26, 2023, and there was a very august audience here, including the Prime Minister and the Crown Prince seated right there. And I came up to the podium to speak, and my speech had disappeared. So the person below took off the speech and walked away, and I had no speech. So today, as you can see, I don't have any written speech. But what I'm doing is I'm going to share very briefly the history of these two organizations, of how we came together. The origins are very different, and yet the origins of both these institutions are very humble and simple. The Mayo partnership, you know that, but the people in Bahrain do not know your humble origins. So I hope you would excuse me if I talk about a bit of Mayo, Rochester, and your beginnings. But before I go there, I want you to look at this picture. This picture was painted by Luke Fields, and he is the actual physician who painted this. And this portrait actually lies in the gallery, Tate Gallery in London. And if you look intently at this picture, you will see the face of a dying child, a 9-year-old girl dying, and the very poor parents who are kind of in the background. And the only focus of the light is on this dying child and the compassionate look of a very helpless physician on this child. 1891, healthcare was pretty much solo. One physician looked after the whole family. There were no multi-practices, no collaborative events, there was nothing. And yet, in those days, care was simple, ineffective, and many people died. Today, it is very, very different. Okay, so, and yet, in today's modern healthcare, what we have lost out in developing healthcare is the compassion that is so vividly expressed in this picture. And in fact, Luke Fields painted this picture in memory of the death of his son that he could not save. So with that, I go on to a tragedy that happened in Rochester, August 21, 1883. Rochester was a small town, and the whole state of Minnesota, there were just 2 hospitals. When this tornado struck Rochester, in fact, there were 3 tornadoes that struck Rochester. It pretty much destroyed the whole of Rochester. And the only practicing physician there was William Mayo, the father of the 2 Mayo brothers. Here is a paper cutting and the actual picture of what was actually published on the 22nd of August 1883. And what the paper cutting reads is, in red I've highlighted, this is a dispatch from the mayor of this little town seeking for help. It reads, Rochester is in ruins, 24 people are killed, over 40 are severely injured, 1/3 of the city is laid waste, we need immediate help. There was no medical help anywhere near Rochester except for William Mayo, who ran a solo practice there. But out of this disaster, in this little place called Rochester, has risen the most prolific and profound healthcare organization on planet Earth, Mayo Clinics, which I don't need to repeat that, has been rated #1 globally over the last 7 years. Am I right? Over the last 7 years. So this is, out of nothingness has arisen this. And today, American Mission Hospital has also got a very simple, humble beginning. Here is the Mason Memorial Hospital in 1903 in Bahrain, built in Bahrain in 1903. In fact, the missionaries came here in 1893. And this is the St. Mary's Hospital, Rochester now. Is part of the Mayo Clinics in 1910. And here are the 2 hospitals today. So 100 years, a lot of things have transpired and changed. Now, if you want to learn the secret sauce of Mayo, what makes the Mayo Clinic, you need to dig further down than just looking at these pictures. Mayo, at the outset, right at the outset, in its inception, the value systems was based on the needs of the patients come first. This has not changed in 150 years of Mayo's history. The needs of the patients comes first, and for us, what has not changed in 125 years is delivering affordable care with biblical principles of compassion, grace, and love. In fact, you can combine both this and read this together. So these value systems have not changed over the last 150 years for Mayo, even though Mayo has become a huge healthcare ecosystem and we are continuing to grow. These fundamental values will never change. And here is the US Postal Service that has acknowledged both these events. You can see 1947, the US Postal Service recognized the doctor, that painting that I first showed. This is a 3-cent postage stamp. And in 1961, the Mayo brothers were recognized with a postage stamp. I'm hoping that Bahrain will have a stamp commemorating the American Mission Hospital and healthcare in Bahrain in one of these where we will be recognized too. So, what brings us together today and how did this journey begin? So, very briefly, this journey started a year and a half ago, or more than a year and a half ago. And it started in February 2023 when we first signed a Mayo Consulting agreement here in Bahrain with a Mayo Consulting Group. And you can see the timeline that I put there, October 2023. The leadership team and the board had the opportunity to visit Mayo and visit with the Mayo Consulting team. And there I got the opportunity to meet with Gianrocco. And then Gianrocco actually came to Bahrain for the C3 Summit. He spoke here. And then we had back and forth from the Mayo team visiting AMH. And November 2024 was the last visit by the due diligence team that worked with us to make sure that we were really worthy and prepared to become a Mayo Network partner. And here are some of the important highlights. Without leadership alignment, there cannot be organizational alignment. We need a unified vision as to where each of the organizations were going in 2 different parts of the world. Even though our origins, the missionaries actually came from the United States, here we are, thousands of miles apart and yet together with a common vision of transforming healthcare at a global level. Mayo cannot do it on its own, neither can AMH or any of our partners do it. It's a question of collaborations. And this is the bottom 2 pictures are at the C3 Summit. Your Excellency, you were there. Most of you attended the C3 Summit. And these are further pictures. The Mayo Consulting Group that worked with us for over a year focused on 3 things: quality, governance, and academics. Without aligning these 3 things, we could not become a Mayo Network member, because in every way, it is quality of care, the governance of the running of the American Mission Hospital, and the academic affiliation, we had to sort of align for us to become a network member. And again, these are pictures from Rochester. And that's me. Okay? I mean, one day there might be a statue of me, I don't know. The other picture is me with Mo Boyden and Gianrocco at the Platform Conference in Arizona. Now, Mayo Clinic Network exemplifies these 2 basic things. The goal is to amplify expertise and to provide care closer to home. Mayo does not want global patients running to Rochester. In fact, what Mayo tells us is 90% of the patients who are seen in Rochester can be successfully managed locally. And the local management to Mayo standards can only come through a network membership or partnership. And this is what we are trying to build as we go forward. These are the different clinical solutions and services that Mayo would provide for us. It's a whole area of services, and it's an incredible area of services. And the most important thing for me is the top right one on the top, Ask Mayo Expert. The Ask Mayo Expert is over 2,000 state-of-the-art guidelines and algorithms that Mayo physicians use at the bedside to treat their patients will be available to our physicians for our patients at our bedside. Lock, stock, and barrel. Okay, so that's one of the greatest benefits we have, and there's a whole array of other benefits we would have. The strategic priorities and roadmap, it's not just simply signing something here. We have gone through all the 5 steps. The first step was the due diligence, where Mayo came and looked at us at every nook and corner to make sure you guys are worthy to be Mayo maintained. Fortunately, we passed that test, and now we are now between step 5 and 6. As soon as we sign the agreement today, we will move on to step 6, and the ongoing collaboration will continue. And finally, what you see on this slide is the AMH strategic goals for 2030, right at the top. Developing our staff and technology, culture values, education, research, patient-centered care, operational excellence, demonstrate value to patients, and financial performance. That's our top 7 strategic pillars going into 2030. And what you see on this axis is how the MCCN network will help us fulfill our strategic goals going into 2030. And with that, I will say thank you to you all. Thank you for being part of this great day. And I think now there's going to be a video welcome by Dr. Mo Boyden, followed by we will welcome Dr. Brian Costello from Mayo to say his few words. So I think now is the video.
I'm going to go off script because that was such a powerful testimony of a great illustration of 2 institutions in 2 different continents coming together and bringing value to patients in a very, very significant way. So I think that deserves another round of applause. So we now have the privilege of hearing Dr. Hamad Biden. He is the Executive Medical Director of International Academic Affairs at Mayo Clinic, who joins us through a special video message.
Hello, my name is Dr. Hamad Biden. I'm a neurosurgeon at Mayo Clinic. In addition, I'm the Executive Medical Director for Mayo Clinic International, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and India. We are pleased to welcome King Hamad American Mission Hospital to the Mayo Clinic Care Network. King Hamad American Mission Hospital is the first institution in Bahrain to join the Mayo Clinic Care Network, a group of carefully vetted healthcare organizations with special access to Mayo Clinic's knowledge and expertise. Mayo Clinic was privileged to collaborate with King Hamad American Mission Hospital through a Mayo Clinic global consulting engagement. Together, we work to establish robust processes and achieve strategic objectives focused on governance, quality, and academics. It was through this engagement that we recognized the potential to elevate our share. We're excited to continue our relationship to deliver the highest quality care to the citizens of Bahrain. Again, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the network. All of us at Mayo Clinic are excited about the future and working with you to advance healthcare. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I was going to say, there you go. Good morning, everyone. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, it's great to be here. I'm Brian Costello. I'm a medical oncologist at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and I also serve as a medical director for Mayo Clinic Care Network Global Solutions. I want to introduce you to Sarah Stahl and Samantha Clarkson, our 2 team members here, who traveled all the way to be at this auspicious occasion. It's an honor for the 3 of us to be here in Bahrain to welcome King Hamad American Mission Hospital to the Mayo Clinic Care Network. Congratulations on this historic occasion. This is the start of a long journey. And as George pointed out, lots of history already, but the best is yet to come. I want to acknowledge Dr. George. We wouldn't be here today without him. The incredible vision, passion, and unwavering optimism that he has really brought us to this point.
Hello.
And so I want to congratulate you and your whole team for that. You have a wonderful team. I do want to call out and acknowledge Dr. Jamila, Dr. Deepak, and Julie Tove, among many others who have made this day come to fruition. And we're deeply grateful for the invaluable support of His Majesty, as well as His Royal Highness and Prime Minister of Bahrain. Their commitment and endorsement has really empowered AMH to come to this point to deliver the highest quality care to the citizens of Bahrain. The Mayo Clinic Care Network started in 2011. It was born out of a vision that Mayo Clinic really wanted to partner and collaborate with the best medical institutions around the world, ones that are like-minded, ones that share our values, and we've heard a lot about values today, and also our excellence in patient care. We have now a number of domestic MCCN partners. I'm proud to say that AMH is now the 15th international location. So you are part of a very distinguished group of international sites for the Care Network. So congratulations on that. Dr. George stole my thunder. The needs of the patient come first as our primary value. If you ask any one of our 78,000 employees at Mayo Clinic what the principal value is, it's the needs of the patient come first. It's clear walking through your halls, talking to your staff, that this is a patient-centric organization. And if we keep this patient at the center of everything we do as a guiding light, we can't go wrong. There's only success ahead. We also talk about our rich ties as values: respect, integrity, compassion, healing, teamwork, innovation, excellence, and stewardship. These are all things that are valued by AMH, and we've seen this in the presentation today, but also as I've gotten to know Dr. George, the entire team here, and your board. Your board is also a very important piece to guiding the journey of AMH into the future and collaborations with Mayo Clinic. So we share a history and a legacy. That's really what joined us, that history and legacy. But my view is that it's really the values and the mission that bond us, because Mayo Clinic and AMH have the same values and mission. So what we're here today for is to look to the future, to think about what it looks like for healthcare in the future. We need to pass the baton to the next generation. We need to set people up for success in the next generation. This is what these sorts of collaborations do. So we need to think of ourselves as being part of something that's greater than any one of us as an individual. We have to serve a mission that's greater than ourselves, and that's why we're all here, and this is why we're all in healthcare. So this is not only a symbolic day in that regard, but it's a tangible day that Mayo Clinic and AMH are coming together to really fulfill the mission and the needs of the people of Bahrain. So with that, I'm going to end, and I'm going to end with a quick story, a personal story. This tie is my father's tie. He was a very proud Mayo Clinic resident in the 1950s. And I found this tie in the back of my closet 4 or 5 years ago. So I decided to wear it today in honor of tradition and history, but also mission and values. Thank you so much.
You've heard the two leaders share something powerful independently. Now we're going to share a short video that showcases the vision, values, and legacy of both institutions, and what does that look like when they come together.
Here is a short story, a tale of two hospitals. One that began in the United States of America, and one that began in the Kingdom of Bahrain. The Mayo Clinic of the United States has its origins in the 1880s, when William and Charles Mayo joined their father's general practice in Rochester, Minnesota. The key philosophy of the hospital they began was keeping patients first, offering medical care that is affordable and accessible was the Mayo Clinic's aim. The hospital grew far and wide over the years, and now, each year, 1.3 million patients from over 130 countries visit Mayo Clinic campuses. With over 76,000 staff members, both physicians and allied healthcare professionals, it serves millions of patients from within the United States and from all across the globe. The hospital that started in Bahrain, too, has its origins in the 1890s, when Samuel Zweimer came to Bahrain and started a clinic in the Manama Souk. He was from the Arabian mission of the Reformed Church in America, which also soon established hospitals in Basra, in Muscat, and in Kuwait. Many medical camps were also conducted throughout the Arabian Gulf region, even until the 1960s. Bahrain's clinic, started by Samuel Zweimer, was increasing in patient numbers and needed a hospital. That's when doctors Sharon Toms and Marion Wells Toms arrived and became Bahrain's first modern physicians. In 1903, the first hospital they opened in Manama, then called the Mason Memorial Hospital, was a precursor to many more healthcare facilities, both in Bahrain and in the region. This hospital's leaders and staff were traveling throughout the region, offering healthcare to all, from ruling families to simple people. That was then. Now, 120 years later, in Bahrain, the hospital continues to serve the community, now with royal support. After much planning, the fifth and largest facility within Bahrain was opened in January 2023 for the people of Bahrain. Like Mayo Clinic, American Mission Hospital is also a not-for-profit organization. Like Mayo Clinic, this hospital also wishes to serve the people with high-quality, affordable health care. After a thorough engagement between the leaders of both organizations, Mayo Clinic has now announced that this hospital in Bahrain has now become a member of the prestigious Mayo Clinic Care Network. This collaboration enables Bahrain's healthcare professionals to access expert advice and world-class care. This collaboration of the two hospitals brings together advanced know-how and compassionate care that they are known for over 120 years. This collaboration brings out a synergy of excellence in healthcare for the people of Bahrain. And the tale of the two hospitals will continue in a spirit of service.
We now come to the heart of today's ceremony, the formal signing of the contracts. I invite Dr. George Cherian and Dr. Brian Costello to join us on stage for this significant moment. I invite all our distinguished guests, including government officials, healthcare leaders, and leadership of AMH and Mayo Clinic, to join us for a group photograph now.
enjoying your time with us. Enjoy the rest of the day.